You're the only one who saw them clearly. That's why they're never going to give you up. That's why they never give up. You know who it's about if it's for you. Someone who resurfaces, comes back every few months, every few years. Could even be once a decade or something, but they resurface. And if this is for you, it's happened recently. Or you've been thinking about them. I don't know about you, but the incidents of me thinking about stuff and then it comes across my feed are just like off the charts. So could be happening to others as well. Biggest mistake was putting distance between you. You were their sweetheart. Like, they wish they could just be around you again. They just want to be in your energy. I just got this feeling of someone entering a bakery full of sweets, you know, like that's how they feel around you. They feel like, yeah, that's crazy. They feel like it's entering a bakery. Like, maybe you literally do smell good, but just being in your energy. It's more about just being in your energy, like being around you would make them feel just special, like a special experience that they're going to enjoy. Not that everybody enjoys bakeries, but in this hypothetical scenario, they do. They feel like their life's glitching without you. And not in a good way, not in the way they want. Yeah, they feel like things are glitchy for them. I don't know how to explain it. That's just a message. You were their sweetheart. Things should have gone in a better direction. That's what they feel. Because now they realize you were the only one who was really, I was going to say really real with them, but that sounds redundant. You were the authentic person, and they feel like they've been surrounded by fake people. People who have gone out of their way to be fake, like specifically targeted with a fake agenda. They feel like they've encountered this a lot. They look back and they realize you were like the only real money out of like a whole bunch of counterfeits. They just didn't know what they were touching. They didn't know what it felt like, because I've heard that bank tellers, when they, like the way they know how to sniff out counterfeit money is just by handling so much money. They know the counterfeit when they feel it. They're like, okay, that doesn't feel right, because they feel so much real money. Well, they didn't know that before. They had it backwards. They were kind of new, felt all those counterfeits and got used to those, and then realized, didn't know what real felt like. Anyway, they feel now, like looking back, you give them that feeling of authenticity, of taking them places other people wouldn't take them, but they don't feel like it's siphoning. They feel like it would be riding along together to glory. Like you both could have, oh no, this is terrible. Like some of them, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to make it central really to any gender. It's really not. This is just an example. Like a man who has kids with a woman, and you know what, it could be the woman too, and I know it happens on both ends. Feel trapped, you know, just someone who the kids are school aged. If they get divorced, they're going to owe a bunch of child support, or it's just going to be a mess because maybe she doesn't work or works sporadically or something. He has to take care of her in some way, has a chronic illness. A lot of pressure on this person. And from the outside, you wouldn't know how miserable they are inside. They come home from work and just sit in the driveway, pretend they're not home yet. Because for whatever reason, the person doesn't know. You know, it's that kind of, I don't know their setup. I'm just going to say they just want to spend time alone. They feel like they don't get enough alone time. It's not really about them cheating. They're not trying to cheat. They wouldn't have time to cheat. Really sad. But they're looking back, being like, I wouldn't be in this situation if I'd chosen this other person. I might still have children, but maybe I wouldn't feel trapped because I'd have them with someone I wanted to have them with. It's not the children. It's not the children they feel trapped by. You know, it's the fact that they can't do a divorce because, you know, a lot of people do that. This is a very strong person. Definitely getting that staying in for the kids mentality. Like once the kids are 18, however many kids there are, person might finally get out of the relationship. But right now, they feel like they can't. It's that energy. It's just somebody who feels trapped, okay? It's like I just keep seeing this movie go through my head. But they really are reminiscing, feeling like they wouldn't feel trapped with you. You saw them, like no one else sees them. Not what you expect. Yeah. It might be making you an offer you don't expect, or just say something you don't expect. And you also need to know something. If this person is still loosely in contact with you, you know, like over social media, you know how it is. Facebook, people stay in contact. You'll have people on your friends list for 20 years that you never talk to, but you might comment on posts. Like if this person comments on something, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, especially because someone else is really heavily watching everything they do. Not because they think the person's cheating, but because this person has time. Or this person, like, they feel kind of smothered, very codependent. And from the outside, you wouldn't know that this person's totally miserable. Oh, it's sad, because I think some of us know what it's like to be in these situations. Now, this person does a lot of stuff like, oh, it's really sad, but because they're so miserable, and again, I don't think it's the kids, it's the person they're married to. They're so miserable that they do whatever they can to stay busy and out of the house, like get other jobs, even though they already have a good job, find hobbies, or take on other projects, give their time away for free, anything to stay away, because they just don't want to be around the environment. And it's sad, because this person does just need an out. It's taking a toll on their body, their spirit, their health. I mean, something like that. Misery will do that, because it'll come out in other ways. Like the person might be eating too much, using a substance that nobody knows about, like a lot of caffeine or something. I'm just getting that vibe of someone who's doing a lot of stuff, even if it's not necessarily illegal. And really, that I'm not talking about even having to do anything illegal. Person's just living life, just trying to get through the day. But they are busying themselves. They are placating, self-medicating, really, self-medicating. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff you can get at a gas station, at a convenience store to self-medicate with. Especially these days, a lot of stuff that shouldn't be in those convenience stores either. That's another story. Sometimes the stuff that is just, you know, the energy drinks or sodas. There are people that just, anyway, the point is, I just keep getting that. Like, that's something to look out for, is somebody who is maybe bizarrely addicted to Coca-Cola. These people who they have to have certain things around. Always have to have a fridge full of Coke or Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi. These things aren't always bad. Yeah, sometimes we do these things because they help us get through the day. We have to have our routine. But, you know, I have known people who got kidney stones and stuff. Certain things in moderation. You know, this person's not using moderation with stuff they should be using moderation with, because it's stuff that's readily available at the grocery store or something. Anyway, these are things to look out for, because some of you might be like, who is this person? Or it's more than one person. If more than one person goes through your mind, it might be more than one person. Because I'm talking to a very magnetic person, a very magnetic audience of people who you do draw in these people. Like, a lot of you are naturally gregarious, just friendly, outgoing, but not necessarily. Some of you are just putting out a frequency of, I'm nice, come talk to me, come dump on me. I don't mean to laugh. I laugh because I've been there, because I know people just come up to us and start telling us their whole life story, their problems. And that can be very draining. Very draining. But anyway, that's who I'm talking to here. That's why these things happen. That's why most of my readings come through. Anything sent to harm you has been bound, and you will not be shaken. This energy of someone who is just stuck in their house, afraid something's going to happen. Or they're out in their car afraid of something, and then something happens. People want to see you shaken. It may seem like this, like they're trying to invent a problem so that they can talk to you about it. Here's what I mean. In the most rudimentary, basic sense, occasionally I get these comments, and some of us are on a certain spectrum, and I don't process things like normal people. I get these comments sometimes where I don't realize in hindsight that somebody was just trying to strike up a conversation. Like recently someone said, you seem irritated in this video. Are you okay? And I went back and watched the video, and it kind of got me paranoid. I'm like, what did I say in this video that would spark this comment? And I watched the video, at least flipped through it a little, and I'm like, I felt very relaxed, calm in that video, and I didn't really know what to say. I'm like, no, I don't know why you would ask this. Someone else comes along and leaves a laughing emoji, and it made me realize, okay, my intuition was like, okay, this person was just trying to flirt with you or trying to start a conversation, okay, by trying to create a problem. You seem irritated, or you seem annoyed, you seem agitated. And again, I'm not trying to say I don't, but they have often said this on videos that I didn't. Or anyway, I realize now what it is. It's someone trying to it's just they're trying to engage with me by creating an issue, you know, just, hey, you want to talk? You know, it's their way of trying to start a conversation. It always backfires. Like, I'm a weirdo. Okay, I take insults as compliments and compliments as insults all the time. I don't take things like the way a normal person does. May I be sent someone, may I be a magnet for the right person to come along and interact with me or interact for me online, so I don't have to, because I cannot do it. I'm not good at it. Anyway, it could be that too. It could be that you just don't understand how to process something coming at you. Like, you could have the same issues. You're like, I don't know what they're trying to do. It feels like they're just trying to be mean to me, but really they're trying to start a conversation. But they don't realize that they're, you know, It's not a good way to start a conversation. You can't, people shouldn't go around trying to manipulate like that because they don't know how you're going to take it. And that's why a lot of people, even me, like I know I'm talking to people who understand, not all of you, but some people. I tend to just scare people away or repel people. Look, some of us too, if you look at my human design, which I totally believe in, I'm a manifester. We have not all of us, but I believe most of us have what's called a closed, repelling aura. Okay? If you want to learn about human design, go look it up. In fact, at my website, needithmessage.com, I believe there's a link to get a free test. I haven't tested in a while. This is why a lot of us tend to scare people off. And I feel like I'm talking to the same type of person. We don't realize, like, the closed, repelling aura type of thing, okay? Like, people try to get close to me and I repel them naturally because a lot of times it's exactly that, because I don't know how to interpret and I end up kicking them away or hurting their feelings because I take something they say. It's supposed to be a compliment. I take it as a threat. I don't mean to do that. But I'm not the only one. It's my knee-jerk reaction. You know, some of us are just built differently. We just process things differently. And you could be the same type where you feel like people, it's like, why are these people bullying me? And it's like, it might not be bullying, it's just attention. And some of us don't know how to take attention. So we reject it. We naturally reject it. Some of us are here to spread the message. We're like the mouthpiece. We're like 9 to 11% of people. Again, go take your human design. It's very eye-opening. You will not be shaken. If you haven't done it, I want you to go do it because there's a message in that for you, okay? If you have time. I'm not trying to put extra work on you because I know I don't have time. I don't have an extra second for anything. The days already go by like an hour. I'm never bored or lonely. I'd never have time to just stop and be bored and lonely enough to talk to somebody. Never happens. So, human design. If you can, look into it. If you have time, take your human design test. Find out, because there's something in there for you. Sometimes it just explains. It's like, we can't all people please. You have to do what's best for you. Like that thing I just said about the closed, repelling aura. A lot of people aren't going to get that. You know why? Because you're not a manifester with splenic authority. Okay, anyway, it gets deeper from there. Very, very eye-opening. But what I was going to tell you, the reason I stopped talking about human design for a while, for the past couple years, this goes back to something that happened on TikTok a few years ago. I don't even want to say the name of the creator. I just want to say ChatGPT changed after this. People were going into spiritual psychosis, though, including this girl. All right? She thought her therapist was in love with her. Some of you know who I'm talking about. I think she's still around. She came across my feed recently. But no, she has serious, or did. I mean, she's in treatment. She's in treatment. I really don't even want to talk bad about her. I'm just saying this is relevant to what I'm about to tell you, because some people, for some reason, the history here needs to be revealed a little bit. Because if you look up something about human design, when that was going on, when people were like really attacking her, because you know how people will scour everything in your life. They went and looked at every like Reddit group she belonged to and everything, every subreddit. She belonged to various groups, subreddits, whatever, about human design. So then some videos started going viral that said human design's a cult. It's not a cult. It's not a cult. And just because she was in a group affiliated, or just because she believes in it, doesn't mean it's affiliated with her. Anyway, so if you happen to find that, that's the history, okay? A lot of people, though, are just, you know, it really shows a split, because I remember when those videos were going viral, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to talk about human design for a while, because that's how search engines work, you know, search engine optimization. The SEO is now going to show this, because if what happened with her was big enough to change ChatGPT, and it did change ChatGPT, oh yeah, the engineers were watching, because that was mega viral. Mega viral. And the ChatGPT behind the scenes engineers were watching the whole time. Yes, and some of us, look, this is all out there. You can verify all this. I've watched it play out. We all watched it play out. Unless the videos are gone, but I doubt it. She's in treatment. She's getting help. She has gotten help. And really, it was a teachable moment. That whole thing. Stuff like that. It's the reason I bring it up. People don't get it. Some people, it goes right over their heads. Obviously, this is a teachable moment. There's a lot to be learned from what happened there. A lot. I wish somebody would do a documentary. I would do a documentary of my own about it. I'd do an entire video about it if I could, if I had time. I don't, unfortunately, there need to be like 36 more hours in a day for me to do anything else. ChatGPT stopped doing all the spiritual stuff, and it got worse as time went on. Like, they really started taking stuff away. And some people will tell you, like, there are people who really believe that version of ChatGPT, was it Grok? The first Grok? I don't remember, but a lot of people think that version of ChatGPT shouldn't have existed anyway. That was a mistake on the part of the engineers. It was telling you some wild stuff. It was bound to happen. We had to watch Spiritual Psychosis. ChatGPT led spiritual psychosis. We all needed to see that. I think maybe there was a bit of overcorrection, especially this thing where anything affiliated with that girl, anything, you know, all the groups she's associated with are now a cult. No, they're not. No, they're not. Human design, that's all started. Look, I know I went on for a while there. Somebody needed to hear that. I know somebody needed to hear about that. A few now where ChatGPT or others have led people to, well, let's not talk about it. I don't know if the algorithm wants me to talk about it. That's part of this reading. What did I start out talking about? You saw through them. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Your mind will play tricks on you. When you are in a situation that you can't get out of, like let's say you feel trapped with children. And I'm sorry to say this because I'm describing something that has happened to millions of people over many generations. It's happening now. It's happened to your grandparents probably. I mean, I'm not trying to speak for everybody. What I'm describing is not necessarily an outlier. It is part of the normal human condition, especially because marriage, all this stuff has sort of just been crammed down our throats by religion and politics, which work together. When people feel trapped, you find crazy little weird ways. Maybe they don't seem crazy, one at a time. Like even, the addiction to, let's say, Diet Coke. I'm not trying to say that by itself, no, it might not be an indicator. That, along with a bunch of other little OCD things, like a person who has to have 2 cases of Diet Coke at all times, fully stocked, or they go crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to always have Diet Coke around or to really enjoy Diet Coke. It's another thing to know how many cans or bottles you have and to plan your life around it. To be like, people will start taking on bizarre little OCD characteristics. I've done it. I know, but I'm speaking from experience, and I've seen it in other people. Did you ever watch King of the Hill? Like, personally, I think that's what was going on with Hank's mom. Once in a while, she would show up, and it was so sad. I'm like, oh, I've seen this. I know this energy. It was so sad. The episodes of Hank's mom where she got into these miniatures, and Hank and his dad would talk about it and stuff. It's because she was so miserable married to his dad. That's the way I always interpreted it, that she got into those miniatures. I've done it too. I like growing up, even as a kid, I was so miserable at home. I would get into things, really get little obsessions and not care about anything else. But the stuff we were obsessed with, we're really, really into. And a lot of that can happen because of survival. You'll see people who just start doing weird little things. Like, what I'm getting to is this. This is someone who might find comfort in online things, like be vulnerable to certain things online, certain people online that other people maybe aren't. This person just feels very vulnerable, like emotionally vulnerable, lonely, sad, maybe doesn't have a lot of time on their hands, but the little time they do have, they have their phone. I've seen this too. I feel like a lot of people are self-medicating, like even grown adults self-medicate with playing these video games and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, but I've seen it so much. It's different if it leads down the path to something else, because it does for some people. That's why I've gotten all this whole thing about spiritual psychosis. I feel like this is somebody who might be vulnerable, someone who feels so lonely, even if they're not, that they might find companionship in some weird way, is all I'm saying. I'm just sensing like a gaping void, an emotional void, because they're not getting some emotional needs met. They feel like they're just going through the motions of daily life, and people from the outside would never know. They would never know. Their partner might not even know. Nobody knows with them. This person is really suffering silently, and they keep themselves busy. Like I said, that's how they medicate. And I'm not even trying to say they're doing anything wrong. They could be really high overachieving, working a lot, making a lot of money or something. I'm getting that vibe. This is a very successful person. I'm just saying there's a lot more going on here. Success doesn't always equal happiness. You might see signs of it. Some of you're either going to know what I'm talking about, or you're going to be like, I have no idea. But I got these, but what did I get here? I got anything sent to harm you has been bound, you will not be shaken. Like there's some kind of harm that could come towards you, or I hope it's not this. Look, I'm just getting this, and I know it's not for everybody, and I don't even like to talk about it. When stuff like this comes to my mind, I try to shoo it away, but the energy of someone who might be self-medicating by creating anonymous accounts or doing weird stuff. Because that's the whole thing, is we are now seeing, like once in a while you see these stories or documentaries on Netflix or something about someone who had a completely different double life as a troll, that you didn't realize it's like that person. Like, anyway, what's done in the dark will come to the light. Yes. Trust. It's happening. That's why you will not be shaken. If you feel anything weird, any kind of weird emotional negative vibes, even though this person, like I said, they might actually have good feelings towards you. It's that whole thing where they want to create a problem so they can fix it. Ask, are you okay? You seem sad. When it's like, I'm not sad. That's an insult to tell me I'm sad. Why are you speaking that on me? But really, they didn't mean it. They were just trying to start a conversation, trying to find an opening. Anyway, last card. You are deceived by no one, and you're not. Deceived by no one. Your intuition is stronger than ever. People can't trick you. False accounts. Look, don't pay attention to troll accounts. Especially, some people know how to come along and say the weirdest little things, right? Especially if you have a lot of followers. And people sometimes leave something weird that you're just like, look, just block and move on. You don't have to tolerate that stuff. Because sometimes you can tell it's not a bot. Because I know people are like, it's a bot. Not always. Sometimes it's something weird that you're like, is this got to be somebody I know in person? Block. Ignore. Focus your thoughts elsewhere. Do not focus it back on them. Because it's a real love-hate vibe here, okay? Like, this person hates you because they can't have you. Hates you because, I'm not even saying it's really hate. It's just like anger. Angry because they can't have you. Because they can't have the life that they thought they were going to have with this person. It's really that. It's really that projection. And they're putting it on you for somehow, or just resentful. Like you represent something they can't have anymore. Part of them that's just never going to happen. And it's really sad, like I said, but you have nothing to worry about. Keep going, and don't let this person trigger you. They've got their own issues. You've always seen through them. You're seeing through them now, okay? You are deceived by no one. It is spoken, it is written, and so it is. Amen.